This is an Avocado Media presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flight 002 to Africa. Flight time will be 10 hours and 45 minutes, cruising at an altitude of 40,000 feet. For your listening pleasure, there are 12 channels. So with your relaxation, enjoy some cool vibration.
Once must go on Putin or no Putin. We have to
Putting on Putin.
Yeah, we have to put in some effort. We have to put it in. You know what I mean?
Some effort.
All right, we're ready. Ready to do some greatness? Yeah, boy. Let's do it. Of course. Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
First of all, I want to start off this pod by saying I'm so happy to see you. You know what I mean?
Happy to see
Today,
you too, bro. Yeah.
Really happy to see you. It's been a crazy couple of days.
Since our last episode.
Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days.
Even that week was crazy.
Yeah.
This one is crazy up.
Yep. Yep.
This one is crazy up.
As soon as the thing happened yesterday, I was like, whoa, how's Wapi doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't even find like
the
words to tweet. You know what I mean? Or to text.
I know.
Yeah, I couldn't
And
hit you up.
And you know the thing is I was trying to promote episode 5 on my timeline and on my statuses and stuff like that, but I couldn't because all this stuff kept coming up, you know, and it just, I don't know, I couldn't because there was so much that was going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So hey, listen, if you haven't checked out episode 5 yet, please check it out.
It's amazing. It might be happier than this episode. You know what I mean?
I know.
It might be a little bit happier.
I know because
I don't know. Today is a dark.
Because I think I don't know if you can see it on me, but I can see it on you that there's some dark shit.
Yeah, like this,
in your head.
It's man. First and foremost, R.I.P. Riky Rick.
Yeah, R.I.P. Riky Rick.
Wanna start off.
Ricardo Macado.
It's always terrible for us who remain behind, because we remain piecing together things. We're not even like close family. We're just like fans. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I like it or I don't like the fact that since we started this podcast, we have always kind of
circled back to death.
About death and stuff like that. And I was watching a Riky Rick video where he was talking about how he wanted to die young, and he was thinking about Tupac, he was thinking about Kurt Cobain and whatnot, and suicidal thoughts and all that. And it took me back to our very first episode where we're talking about that. We're talking about death. I think we talked about death in the second episode. We talked about death in the third episode. We talked about death in the fourth, and all that. And
like, what's this connection that death and greatness has?
What's going on? What's really going on? So here we are now, starting our podcast with like a tragedy.
Yeah.
And it's not just like an ordinary death. It's someone just deciding, you know what, I'm kind of done with this.
Yeah.
So what's there to be said?
I wanna unpack it. Right? I wanna take it step by step. I don't want us to just rush through it. I want to take it step by step. The first step,
right,
being, like I said, the people who remain behind. We're left to like piece together things, and in that piecing together things, we are forced to say things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whenever suicide is involved, or like what seems to be suicide, I don't know, alleged suicide, right? People feel pressured to have an opinion on, you know what I mean, on somebody else's life.
On somebody else's
you know?
life. Or lack thereof.
Or death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People like feel like, because this is, because death is such a crazy thing in the human mind, we decide to take a stance. It's like it's the day to go and vote, and we must all decide on that day whether we are for it or we are against it.
Especially if it's suicide. I had a friend of mine, very close friend of mine, and he committed suicide. Same way that, allegedly Riky Rick did it.
Yeah.
But with my friend, even before the family knew it, even before the friends knew it, I think the first responders at the scene took a picture of him hanging from a guava tree right in front of their house, and they posted it on Facebook, and it went viral.
Shit.
It was viral in Zambia, it was viral in Malawi, it was viral in Mozambique, South Africa, it was viral. And the stories around that, it was crazy. I knew this guy, right? And even with his suicidal thoughts, he talked to me about it. But the stories around his death was he was involved in Satanism. All right. So the people that he was involved with were coming for him. Or no, he owed some people money. Or no, he was just one of those kids. He was drunk or something like that. And I watched that play out on my timeline every single day for about 2 weeks. And it wasn't even his death that hurt the most.
It was the reaction.
It was the reaction of people not understanding the pain that this guy was going through. I did, because he talked to me about it. Did my best as a friend, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, we're all people at the end of the day.
So you see people reacting to this, and you're just thinking, wow. And yesterday, when I posted to say, and I didn't even put any philosophy around it or any message, I just said, Riky Rick has passed on, and this is the cause of death or something, allegedly. Some dude comments and says, coward, right? And immediately I'm angered, because that was the same fucking thing that was going on with my friend. How dare you? Like who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, he's a coward? How not coward are you, sir? You know what I mean? And that is what's going on right now.
Who are you to judge what weight someone else is carrying?
Exactly.
And this is not me being pro-suicide. It's just who are you to derive an explanation for who they are without having known them. All you have is like this one act.
You're not a doctor, you're not a therapist, you're not a psychologist, you're not a scientist, whatever. But you...
And even though you're not that person's doctor. You know what I mean?
In your capacity, I've decided the reason why this guy committed suicide is because they're a coward.
They're a coward.
It's offensive. Very offensive.
And I mean, it kind
of...
And
if someone said that to me, by the way, if a friend of mine committed suicide and they said that to my face, you're getting knocked the fuck out. I'm putting you to sleep. All right? Good night. Have sweet dreams. All right? That's what's going to happen. But because it's social media, you can do it. And no consequence whatsoever.
I mean, we're coming all the way around that. You know what I mean? This is why I wanted to unpack it, right? First, there's the perception itself, right? Like we said in the last episode, if some things are explored and uncovered, maybe we can discuss them adequately and give them the right reverence that they deserve, and maybe find solutions, right? So for me, mental health is the buzzword right now. Right?
But before we even get to that, man, I need to, because here's what I was thinking when I heard the news. I was actually thinking, how does it make you feel? Like, how did the news make you feel? Because, listen, I'm not a hip hop artist and stuff like that, and I probably haven't been following. No, definitely haven't been following the likes of Riky Rick as much as you have, because you are a student of this art. So you probably know more about this guy than I do.
I mean, I'm not like his number one fan.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Still,
but I was at one point I really followed South African hip hop, and Like I know how he took it from just being this one act to the Cotton Fest, and you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Like,
you have followed his timeline.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel?
I mean, it's always sad when somebody who's innovating shit gets taken off the board for me. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not just like somebody who's, I mean, every artist is important, you know, but like, there's some artists who do some shit that changes the shit for everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
And Ricky with his moves early on, you know what I mean? Just like how he dressed, you know what I mean? Just the kind of dude he was. He'd always be about this positive shit, you know, in like a very testosterone-filled sport, you know what I mean? So like emotions and how you feel are not usually catered for. Right. But he would always seem to like take time out to try to explore that side of shit, right?
And you know the thing is, you know, the impact that I could feel from Ricky is such that I actually didn't know that he was 34 years old.
Yeah.
At the time of his death.
I
thought this guy was like 40-something years old.
That's what hit home for me, because
he had done so much. You'd think this guy is old.
Yeah.
He's only 34 when he passed away.
That's what hit home for me, right? It's a certain age of rapper that it affected me, because I'm pretty sure they're going through similar shit, right? Like right now, just on the music side, I'm not talking about Riky Rick right now.
Right.
I'm talking about what I think 34-year-old rap artists are going through in this environment right now. Is like you don't really fit. You know what I mean? You're almost too old to be with the young crowd, and you're too young to be with the old crowd. You know what I mean? You're in this weird space, so you might not always be able to express yourself adequately to be understood by a mass populace, and that might fuck with your head. I saw the same shit with Double H.
Right.
What up? You might want to be here.
You know the rules. You know he knows the rules.
You own the fucking studio. Just tilt it this direction. Come this side if possible, yeah.
These guys are cutting chairs in their podcast. How dare they?
That was the situation with like Double H, right?
Yeah.
This artist who I grew up loving. And at the point that we started communicating, we would WhatsApp, and I could see him struggling to re-enter the industry. He had been gone for a while.
Yeah.
But he loves music, you know what I mean? And he was doing things, he was trying, and like sometimes you put in your best effort and motherfuckers aren't just rocking, right? Because like it's AKA time, or it's like whoever else's time, or Costa Tish's time.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's nobody to tell the artist, yo, this doesn't mean it's over for you.
Yeah.
And that can grow and that can crush you. You know what I mean? That could lead to any number of outcomes, you know, like undesirable outcomes. Exactly. So you wanted to say?
I was gonna say that even beyond being like the plight of the 30-year-old rapper, right? But also just the plight of the 30-year-old man, right? To be a millennial and an African millennial, right? Being raised with the kind of things we were raised with, having gone through and witnessed the things that we've gone through, right? Like, you know, there's so many changes just from like, you know,
internet,
just from the 80s to now. Like, what a world, right? But what has that done to the African male millennial today? What crossroads is that person at? And I feel a lot of friends of mine are going through divorces. My friends who married early, right? And I feel like there's something happening. It's like everyone's sort of like realizing that, yo, the shit we were taught, all the things we were lied to. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way to do things now.
The words of Vice Lip.
They fucking lie! They fucking lie.
It doesn't say it like that. They fucking lie.
Shout out to Vice Lip.
Yeah. And I could tell. I think I saw a couple of videos by Ricky trying to ask. I think you and I have had this conversation before. I don't know when, but we had it. He was saying that hey, if you meet a young person who's got talent, who's got potential,
put them on. Give them the
all,
ear. Yeah,
give them all the opportunity that you can.
Yeah,
and
stop fucking stealing from them.
Exactly. Just give it to them. And I feel like he was trying to do that, which was not done for him, maybe, right? To youngins, and you can tell how he was featuring on these young cats, records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To me, the only reason I got to know about is it T.I.C, right? It's because of Riky Rick. I just saw I went and searched on YouTube and it said featuring Riky Rick, and the music came up. And I started listening to that music, and then one of them was by T.I.C. And I think that he was trying to do what you were saying, as a 34-year-old, by then he was probably like 32, 31. He was feeling like, listen, I'm now a bit old. I need to look back and see on those 21-year-olds.
Who's looking out for them?
Yeah, who's looking out for them? It's gonna be me, because it's very easy for artists who are old. I remember one artist, won't mention his name, who's Zambian, who said something about, this year I'm going to focus on the youngins. And that was probably like 2-3 years ago. And that didn't happen.
They fucking lie!
They fucking lie. That didn't happen. This year I'm just going to feature young artists. I'm just going to focus on the young artists.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago. It didn't happen.
But maybe
it's difficult.
Maybe it's the problem is these artists looking at themselves as workers in an industry, because you can retire a worker. You can't retire an artist. Doesn't matter how old you get. You can't retire an artist. You're an artist.
Have you ever heard of cancel culture?
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with age.
Yeah.
And also that no one retires them. They're still there. They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's not like someone will come to you, oh, Wapi, I'm sorry, you've just turned 35, or 60. What's the retirement age?
Here's your
63.
artist pension.
Yeah, here's your artist
Get
pension.
out of here.
No one's gonna do that.
I get you.
So I think artists should stop looking at themselves as cogs in a machine, as workers in an industry. Yes, you are getting paid, but if you're a real artist,
right. So take so in to put it simply, you felt a great loss.
Yeah.
Like, not as a okay.
Yeah,
but
man.
as a great loss to the creative industry or something like that. Or what? Or to rap.
For example, knock on wood. The day that Ho, Ye leave this world, that loss that I'm gonna feel is the same loss that I'm currently feeling. Right? It's like the loss I felt when Nip went. Like when industry pioneers leave, it's a different thing. Like I saw firsthand what Double HP was doing. You know what I mean? We were talking about it, like his plans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had like a rolling paper brand he was rolling out. He had foreseen, you know what I mean? People don't just off themselves. You know what I mean? Like they've got plans. And to this day, some of the shit he was talking about hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was the only one who could have done it.
What if, right?
Yeah.
Right. For me, it makes me feel like mortality first and foremost. But secondly, it reminds me of the mandate that I have, like the role that I have to play in this shit.
that word is funny now, man.
Mandate. You know what I mean? The role that I have to play, like what's not going to happen if I don't do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like there's on one end like great loss, but on the other end it's like great responsibility as well. It's like fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Because we all have to admit, and this is what I was leading up to with like unraveling this thing. The entertainment industry is not built to help you if you're somebody who has got mental issues. Mm-hmm. That's rule number one. That's where I want us to start from. Like the way this shit has been run, the way this shit goes, from top to bottom, the way people make you look nuts when you speak out about this shit is just not meant to factor this shit in.
I feel like the entertainment and the creative industry are like the structure of it all, especially the people that are running it. And when I say running, are the people that are supposed to be facilitated, right, for artists and whatnot, paying them, all those things, right? They're just takers. They just take,
Yeah.
and they're unwilling to give.
Yeah.
You know, some of these people are cockroaches, man. They're just in your kitchen to eat what you just bought. Like you earned the money. You went to the groceries, then you bought groceries, and you came back, put the groceries in the kitchen, and they're just there to eat what you got. All right. So it's just takers. Look at how like so many people give so much, right? And yet when you say, well, where's my paper? Give me a month. Give me 2 months. How about 6? How about a fucking 2 years? Don't say anything about it.
But
but I worked.
You've still got to stay as productive.
But you still, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
The same
It's
person,
on you to,
same person that hasn't paid you for a long time can still call you and say, hey, I've got another job here. And you do it again to the best.
You know, one of the most nuts things I went through when I was on air is being asked about why I sounded low on air while I hadn't been paid. That's one of the most nuts and disrespectful things I've ever been endured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, where do you want me to find the fucking energy?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I haven't eaten.
you know what I mean? You do it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And see how you like it. If your boss asks you to toil day in, day out like a fucking machine, right? And on the day when you ask for even an insulting figure of pay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With regard to the effort you're fucking putting in, an insulting figure of pay, in my humble opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just a nigga who loves this media shit. But in my humble opinion, and a very insulting figure, that if anything is a figure that's kept that low to keep you in that loop. Let's talk about it. Let's keep it real.
I have created an avatar. I've created 2 versions of myself. There's Alpha Wapi, and then there's Simp Wapi. Okay? If you pay me good money and you want my services, Alpha Wapi is activated. All right? I would do the best you've ever seen. All right? But if you pay me some peanuts, Simp Wapi is activated.
Now I would like to talk to both of you. I would like to speak to both of you.
Yeah.
This is the motherfucking greatness game. We know who the fuck Wapi is. I don't care about an alpha, I don't care about a simp.
Right.
Me, I know who Wapi is.
Uh-huh.
Right? Are you telling me that you have found it somehow within you to be giving people a lower version of yourself? And that sits well with you?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need money.
My nigga. and here's the thing.
No, sometimes you need
Here's the
it.
thing I'd like to say to all great people out there.
Right.
Because you are great, simply because you are great. If you know it, this is only to the great motherfuckers. If you're not great, avert your ears.
Okay.
Because you are great, Wapi, you get so much money that one day you look back on the stupid jobs you are taking and be like, but I should have known. I should have told everybody to fuck off. I live with constant regret of not having told enough people to fuck off.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people have wasted my time and my greatness over a paycheck. Small money that if I sat down and I figured it out with my people in my circle,
Right.
we could get 10 times that money.
Damn.
So it's just the hype of, no, I gotta have a job. You know what I mean?
You know, this that's why I said at the beginning of this episode that this is coming full circle with our earlier episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because you remember when we're talking about what? We're talking about like how the death of an artist affects you, or even just the death of like a friend or family affects you. And I was thinking, okay, so you die, right? okay, let's say you were given 5 minutes to think before you actually die. You'd probably be thinking the same thing that Tick is thinking about right now. You'd be like, why did I ever allow that motherfucker to
Waste
use
my
me
motherfucking
talent like that? I should have just told them to sod off or something like that, you know? But then, because I don't know what it is that is natural in us, when you're hungry, you know? Like, and I don't mean like hungry as in like, no, I mean like literal hunger pains.
But I think also,
I'm talking about like literal hunger pain.
Yeah, like, you know,
Listen,
when you need the
bro.
money.
Listen, bro. Listen.
That's a
Listen,
evil
man.
laugh right there.
Nah, for real. You won't die.
Are you sure?
You are not going to die.
Okay.
If you really believe in your ability and where you're going, you won't die. I was watching a video of this MMA motherfucker. He's a popular African. He was a Congolese guy. What's his name? You guys who watch MMA. Francis Ngannou. I was watching his story. Ngannou. Yeah, shout out to him. Don't fuck me up, bro. I was watching his story. And I was looking at him like, this one really wanted to make it out, I say.
yeah.
Like, the journey he took from Congo, where he was working in this mine, to end up in, like, where he ended up. You want to claim that you're great. You're not great. No, for real, bro, because, like, I think about, like, what are you going to do to make your dreams come true? And I know this has, like, evolved far away from death. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that's also one of the things you factor in.
I've actually thought about that. I'm willing to do anything, honestly, to realize my dreams.
And if you're willing to do anything, that means you realize the value of your dreams.
Yeah.
You see yourself at your fullest value,
Yeah.
right? And you know that even this figure that is being dangled in front of you right now is an insult to that figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an insult to that figure. Somebody who has somehow achieved theirs in their life is
Yeah.
dangling it in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's, I don't fuck with that no way, bro. I don't know if it's madness. I don't know if it's blind faith. I don't know if I'm nuts for this shit, you know? But the fact that we all live and we all die on this spinning rock where nobody knows who put us here. All of you have been feeding us beans
You can't afford
from the beginning of time.
You can't.
No, Jesus. No. Just
can't-
admit it. We all don't know where we are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And on this space, on this plane, where I know that I've got a finite number of days to live out my dreams, I'm gonna fucking do what I'm gonna fucking do.
Yeah. You can't afford to fuck around.
I can't. I just can't. And that's what came to my mind watching all those things yesterday. Is that this is a person who, he did what he had to do,
Yep.
right?
That's why I put a caption concerning the same, and I said that it's either you live long, right? You live long, and people who live long are these people who follow rules and they fit themselves in every single structure and system and whatnot. Either live long, or you either live long and not live your life to the fullest, or you live short and live life to the fullest.
I disagree.
I agree.
I disagree.
Because
I think you can do
I
both.
know
You can do actually
I know
all
some
four.
people who are 90
so
I know some people who are 90 something
You can
years
live
old
an
and they
empty, short life.
haven't lived
You
the
can
life
live
that
an
Tupac
empty,
lived,
long-
for example.
No, so there's a quote my friend told me a few days ago, that the brave may not live long, but the cautious don't live at all.
Exactly.
And that sums everything.
That's even better than my
I hear you.
anchor. I think
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? Somewhere in the middle. I believe that Dr. Dre is 50 years old, rapping on the Super Bowl stage.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle, I believe Jay-Z is in his 50s and experiencing a life that, like, he could have never experienced. That's why I say, fuck no. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not taking any pre-written rules to how I'm going to live my life. None of them. Even the ones that sound convenient. You know what I'm saying? You know how, like, That's what I hate about Christianity. It's very fucking it's very fucking convenient.
What's crazy is
you know what I mean? The way
I was
like
about to do a joke about like, aren't you going to go to church on a Sunday?
no, it's like the way that Africans, especially, I don't know about how everybody else navigates their Christianity, but the way Africans have decided to interpret Christianity is very convenient. You know? There are even loopholes. You know what I mean? Like people walk around every day saying, I'm a staunch Christian. And then you're like, how? You know what I mean? But they have found a way through the system.
And one example is I'm a staunch Christian. And then the staunch Christian, let's say you find them fornicating.
Let's contextualize. Let's contextualize with today's episode. I'm a staunch Christian, and you're the person on social media talking to somebody who is an artist and leading them to kill their fucking selves.
Okay. Then when they
you know what I mean?
receive
But you're a
backlash
staunch
for that,
fucking
they
Christian.
say that, well, you can't judge me, only God can judge me. I think that's a loophole. You know.
There you go.
That's a
You know what I mean? You have found a clause in your contract.
you found a clause in your contract where you can stray away from set rules within your religion. But whenever someone calls you out on that, you say, well, only
close
God
the church door.
Only
Like,
God can judge me. You can't judge me.
It's just me and my God.
And also, I'm gonna go in my bedroom.
But we're
and
here
say,
with you and your God.
Exactly. I'm gonna go in my bedroom and say, "Forgive me," and that'll be it. Like I think I said something. Did I say this on another episode? I said I had a girlfriend once. She was Catholic. All right, and we would. I remember that story, right? Yeah. You know, we would fool around during the week.
You go to mass.
But then when she goes to mass on a Sunday, she would delete all of that and say, forgive me for my sins, and then she'll be okay again. Then again, the next week we fool around. Then again, she goes
The
again and
nigga
says,
who turned me into a black belt dopist, my sensei in alcohol, used to transform one day a week. It was like some werewolf shit,
Exactly.
bro. Like, I'm like, my G.
like all of a sudden, like I don't touch
You know
that.
what I mean?
I
Like,
don't touch
yeah,
that.
he doesn't even talk to me when he's at the premises of
yeah.
their cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm calling it today.
You say SDA?
No, they were Catholic. But like for me, all religions are
Because to
fucking
my
cult.
mind, I always like SDA was always sex, drugs, and alcohol.
Anyway, thirdly,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you said there was not going to be any light moments.
I know. Thirdly,
I almost feel like sidebar. I was,
I'll not talk about thirdly, by the way.
what's it?
It's third.
Really?
It's It's firstly,
Secondly,
second, third.
says who?
You can't say secondly
All right,
or
so
thirdly.
are you
I
telling this to the
literally
nigga who
drank
just said I'm not
hundreds of
following anybody's rules? Is that what you're saying?
You're talking to the nigga, or it used to come out first in English, okay? It's
At what
firstly.
That's a great. Listen, that's an amazing sentence if you think about it.
Right.
I am talking to the nigga that used to come out first in English. That's an amazing sentence.
Are you about to philosophize?
No, I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm just leave it there.
Firstly, second, third.
Fifth first. that's what you get.
Go.
So what I want to say, like 3-3 for third three. What do you? First of all, before I jump to my point, another thing I hate about this situation is that it's a fad to y'all. You know what I mean? It's cool to talk about it when it happens.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
2 days from now, you're going to find someone's underwear to discuss.
Right.
You're going to find something else. You know what I mean? Because you guys, you're not concerned for real with people.
And here's a challenge. Like try to talk about it a week or even 3 days after the fact.
Try to talk about it all the fucking time.
And,
it's a big
and
issue.
People will be like, well, that's done. Like, we're over that.
Yeah.
You know. Now I'm talking about suicide. Nah, we're over that.
Yeah.
Right now it's cool to talk about it.
No, it'll be like you're talking about suicide and they're like, why? Who killed themselves?
Like no, I'm talking about
they need a reference
previous cases.
point.
No. Is there a fresh case?
Is there, got anything fresh? Some fresh meat?
Yeah, they have anything
Yeah, for you
fresh.
to talk about mental health, it's like you have to come with an application.
Yeah,
Like, this is the person.
well,
who
this
has
is the
killed
person who
themselves.
just killed themselves.
Can I have your thoughts and prayers?
Exactly.
Give us 5 kwacha for your opinion. But lastly, what do you think we should actually do? Right?
Well,
we can talk about
have a dope ass podcast called The Greatness Game where you can actually talk about these things.
Right, that's
because
one.
I don't. Yeah, that's
we
number
already
one.
did that. That's what
Exactly,
we did.
because I don't think.
But what can we do?
I don't think that anybody else is doing this on their podcast.
No.
They're scripted podcasts.
I know you're about to start a fucking fight.
Yo, let me step in because this is a recurring theme. I'm gonna step in and keep it on top. I think it's very important what you are doing with this podcast because, as we know, again, like I said, the African millennial grew up in a time when you could not discuss. I never discussed real issues with none of my friends till probably I was like 30. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like we never just discussed that because that's not how we were raised, right? And so you need to change the way we raise boys, right? But
Boys and women.
yeah, exactly.
And girls, sorry.
Yeah,
You're not raising any women.
But I can only focus on boys
And
because
everything in
boys
between.
grow up into men, and the current batch of men are trash. But that's not the issue. The issue is why are they trash, right? What made them that way? How were they raised, right? So you guys talking about these very serious issues allows other people, shows other men, other boys who listen to it to be more open about what they're going through, right? And so that's the first thing you can do. And you have a platform and you're using it. Start the conversation going. Things only thrive in the dark, bro. The evil only thrives in the dark. The minute you start talking about it, there's nothing anyone can tell you because people are talking about it. No one's suffering in silence.
I think that one of the pieces of literature that changed me in a way was
The Bible.
No.
Playboy magazine.
No. Maybe. But this
The
one is
Sunday edition of the Post 19.
No.
Oh, the Entertainment Post.
No.
Yo, what quick question?
Stop
Before
guessing.
you jump in, did you ever have a moment where you were trying to mac on a girl and then you saw her in the Entertainment Post with her knickers out?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story later.
Okay.
That's gonna be the light moment.
That's
Let's
actually
go.
interesting.
Let's go.
But okay, side
Yeah, there was but two.
side story before I go to the literature
Side
that changed my life. There was a time when I was
Side
when I
cheek.
was in grade 9, and I escorted this classmate friend of mine, a girl, to her place, and my intentions were, maybe we could fool around,
Intentions were lecherous. So
right? And when we
They were not
we just entered her yard and we entered her house, the parents were not home and she was just alone, and we were just chilling, and there was a knock on the gate. All right, so she told me, why didn't you go see that? So I went there, and guess who was at the gate?
The parents.
No, it was two Jehovah's Witnesses. It was two Jehovah's Witnesses, and they had a magazine.
Shit.
They
Talking
had
about
a magazine, and the title was
Sex Will Kill You.
"What are your teenage children doing behind your back?"
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful.
Made me feel guilty. Like, how did they know? How did they know? Huh?
Did you fuck?
I didn't. I was a loser
Now
back
that
then.
guilt.
You're a loser back then. I was. You should have gone off with the Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, I had a similar.
You should have left the girl.
Yeah, this is crazy. I have a
people.
similar story. Me and this girl in high school both got suspended on the same day, right?
Right.
So we kind of liked each other, so we thought, she was like, come home.
Was this
My
planned?
parents- No.
Okay.
Just random.
Just checking.
We were sent home because we were wearing wrong shoes. I used to deliberately get sent home by deliberately wearing the wrong shoes. So I'm like, I'm not feeling at school today.
Also, you are working the system.
I was working the system. Yeah, so we were both sent home, right?
Shout out St. Andrews.
Yeah, so and then she's like, my parents are not home, blah blah blah. So we got on a bus to go to Itawa, right? Because that's where she lived. Bruh, on the way there, all the music in this bus was that churchy Zambian gospel old ass.
Just making me feel
fucking-
guilty.
Yeah,
Don't
and
you
bad.
know to fornicate?
Bro, by the time we got there, she was like, can we go inside? I was like, yeah.
Don't you bust that nut? Don't you bust that nut?
But for real. True story. By the time we got where we were going, I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That was the
how it
Holy
works.
Spirit.
Could have lost my virginity that day, but thanks to God.
Oh my word! You know they actually say that's thank God. Thanks to God.
Anyway, so
I have lost more women to Jesus than probably anyone. No, seriously. After me, they always find God.
finally, someone who can relate to Joseph.
Yeah. I feel that. in
That
this
must
story.
have been wild for that homie.
Anyway, so the piece of literature that
Yeah,
changed my
thanks
life.
for
I
remembering
read
that.
there's an essay by Ralph
As in like
Emerson.
a Hispanic president.
No, Ralph Emerson. It was an essayist.
I think I know.
You know him,
Go
right?
on.
He's a
So-
what?
I think I even know what
He's
you're
an
gonna say.
essayist. He was an
essayist.
Essayist, yes.
Okay, that's what they call him.
Yeah. So he wrote an essay called.
Nigga, I'm an essayist too.
He wrote an essay called
Essayist.
I've forgotten the title, but the entire essay is just telling the man to say whatever you feel and whatever you think, express it. And even if that thought or feeling changes tomorrow, express that which has changed. All right. And he was saying that there is a time when men won't, or even women won't be able to express themselves like that. And when those do, they'll seem so strange.
Yeah.
You know, because they're doing that which should be done naturally. When you feel something, I feel sad, say it.
Yeah.
I feel happy, say
Say
it.
it.
All right. I think this is bad, say it. I think this is good, say it.
The most man, shout out to African women first and foremost. I want to start from there. Like, I know we talk about the young women as being pioneers and the old ladies as being rigid in their ways.
Yeah.
But the only piece of practical advice that I was told during my mother's funeral came from a best friend, right? And shout out Sid Black. This is Sydney's mom. And she says, when we all go away, it's going to start paining again. You've got like your friends right now, blah, blah, blah. If you need to cry, cry. You know what I mean? If you need to be upset, be upset. Feel all the feelings you need to feel. Because if you don't, you will regret. I will never forget her saying that shit to me, you know? And every time I let out in that regard, right? I feel for real, a little bit of the problem going away. A little bit of the pain going away, you know what I mean? It's like shedding it away for real, you know? And I always think about, what if I didn't hear that, knowing who I am, knowing, you know what I mean? Like, what if I didn't get to hear that conversation? I would have internalized, I would have, you know, this could have played out any number of different ways, you know?
That's true.
I like to think of the analogy of the snake shedding its skin. And I always wonder, is there a snake in nature that doesn't shed its skin and then suffocates because it can't get out of its skin? That would never happen. But with human beings, it happens. We refuse to shed our skin and then we suffocate in the skin we don't shed.
And now we're praying for Ukraine.
So the essay, for those who want to find out what the essay is, it's self-reliance.
You're the only person
your
I've met
Bible,
in
right?
my life who's ever like mentioned this.
All right, you guys get a room.
Self-reliance.
You have found each
If
other
you read-
finally.
if you read
Sparks
this
have flown
essay-
in the studio tonight.
And I'm trying to look for some quotes. I'll just read one quote from this essay. This guy went hard, and the essay is brilliant. And when I read this essay, I was just like, wow, you know, this is some beautiful stuff. So as I'm looking for the quote, you can go ahead, sir.
No, I wanted to say something. I was going to send this like left because I want to also give something else I think is a philosophical quote that I've been thinking about lately. It's a great quote.
Right.
That's why I fucked your bitch.
Eish. Okay.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
God damn.
You know, because like I'm a scholar of hip hop. And it's a scathing thing to say to somebody. You know what I mean? But we never take it as somebody giving someone a reason for something. You know what I mean? When somebody says, oh, that's why you failed grade 7. You get offended because you failed grade 7.
Yeah.
Right? But if you back out for a minute.
Wait, are you quoting Tupac?
Yes.
I got lost a little bit. So
Yes.
I fucked your bitch.
Right?
Fuck.
But you see, he says something so potent. He says, that's why I fucked your bitch. Right? Why did he fuck his bitch?
That's the
What
question.
is
That's
he
the
talking
question,
about,
yeah.
right?
It's not
So-
about the fucking, it's about
Yes.
the question.
Why? What led to him fucking Biggie's bitch?
What did that nigga do?
What did
to
he
make
mean?
those niggas so
Now,
mad?
a man telling another man, right? We go deep. A man telling another man, that's why I fucked your bitch. Could be an insult, or it could be a real like youngster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you look at it as youngster, it brings a list of things, right? You don't have enough rats. Wadibi de machkala.
Wadibi pop.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
don't dress nice.
it's so.
You're not confident.
And then you start exploring now. Now, for me, it was like, how do you start a song like that?
Yep. I
At the beginning of the record, a nigga's like
if Tupac
making
was
a
alive,
list of
I feel
what's
like
wrong.
if Tupac was alive, it wouldn't have been August. It would have been Tupac. Yeah. I feel like that. Now, away from that, listen to this, all right? This is
I don't think there would have
this
been
is-
Will Smith. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Because the goes out in love.
This is Ralph Emerson, right? Quotes from his essay Self-Reliance.
Is he related to Ralph Lauren?
No.
Okay.
So, listen to this. Listen to this. Be yourself, no base imitator of another, but your best self. There is something which you can do better than another. Second, whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. Third, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Fourth, he cannot be happy and strong until he too lives the nature in the present above time. Have you heard how deep that? Fifth, the last one. A man is to carry himself in the presence of all opposition, as if everything were tutelar and ephemeral. But I am ashamed to think how easily we capitulate to badges and names, to large societies and dead institutions.
Large societies and dead institutions.
Now, for
Oh.
And this is going to lead me into the way I would like to finish this episode.
right.
my critique of everybody who hated the fourth Matrix movie.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Okay, but no spoilers, right?
No, no, not at all. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not gonna ruin it. So here's what happened to me. Somewhere around the last 2 years, I was introduced to what the first 3 Matrix movies meant. Right? By a friend. Somebody was like, "Oh, you think it's an action movie? Watch it like this." And then I watched it and I was like, "Oh my god, this may be one of the greatest movies of all time." That was the Matrix 1, right? Then I watched 2 again and 3 again. I was like, what a fucking trilogy. This is amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how did they do this? Because I create similar things. You know what I mean? I'm like, I like to deconstruct. Which, by the way, is what the Matrix is. It's deconstructionist theory.
Right.
Read up on that, you dumb motherfuckers. Anyway, so...
By that is referring to me and...
So, the first Matrix movie is a pop culture classic.
It is.
1999, right?
Yeah. Trendsetter, game changer,
Changed everything,
Yeah.
right?
The bullet time effect.
Yeah.
Changed everything, right?
Technology
The second Matrix movie was slightly unpopular,
Yep.
right? I'm talking about crowd reaction here. The third Matrix movie was more unpopular,
Yeah.
But just like, is this necessary?
right? This Matrix movie has been the most unpopular movie. Now, people think they're the ones who are doing this. The people who are watching the movie, they think they're doing this deliberately. You know what I mean? They think their opinion of the Matrix matters.
Oh shit.
However, what
Nick
they're
is
not
about to
seeing,
reveal something here.
what they're not seeing is what the Wachowskis are doing to them.
The Matrix is a critique of society. You hate the fourth Matrix movie because you're who's being critiqued. Everything about you, your love for franchises, you know, your love for continuity,
Right.
you know.
Oh, I love the Terminator.
Yeah,
Bring it
yeah.
back.
The idea that you as a viewer can direct something is what's being deconstructed in the fourth movie.
And I feel like in the movie, the message was like the Avengers might be rebooted in like 5 years or 10 years.
Bro, like,
Just because like we want that feeling again. Want to see Thanos.
bro, do me a favor. Can you just go and get that item? That there'll be a canister in the thing that's given. This happened the last time we were recording. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people have missed the point all over again. Just like, you know, you should be worried if you don't like the fourth Matrix movie, is what I'm saying.
No. It's not about liking it. It's about getting the message.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you don't
about
like,
getting it.
if you don't like the Matrix movie, you're a certain kind of person, and you should be worried.
You're focusing on liking it. I don't have to like it.
Yeah, if you don't
I have to get the message.
No, listen.
But I don't have to like
You're
the movie.
missing the point I'm making. The Matrix's message is very. The Matrix is like this, right? The theory behind it is if you want to see, you will see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a forcing matter. It's not even in the movie itself. Not everyone is in Zion. The majority of the world is plugged in. Do you understand that? When you understand that part of the theory, and you just add to that they are trying to show you who you are in this entire thing.
I kind of think that you're thinking too much into this.
I guess.
Because I feel like the fourth movie was, like a jab at the studio company to say, "Oh, make us another movie. We want to make some money," and then they kind of threw a shot at it. It's like what Snyder did with the Snyder Cut. You know, "Oh, I've made this movie." And then, "Oh no, this movie, I think we think it's too much and whatnot." That's a studio company, right? So they find someone else, and he's like, "Okay, fine, go ahead and do that." And that doesn't work out. So now people are like, "We want to see what Snyder did." That's when the Snyder Cut campaign started on social media. So even with this one, probably they were told, "Listen, we can't make a fourth movie. We're done. It's a trilogy. It's complete. It's perfect." Like, no, make another movie. That's when they did it that way. I think there
So
was
what
more
you're
jab-
describing is one aspect of what I've said before. It's a critique of franchises,
And that's what I'm saying. You're thinking too much.
right?
into
No, but other than that, it's many other things. And that's what I'm explaining. A lot of people are watching it like there's levels to this movie, bro. There's levels to it. I implore you. I am like, if you're a human being who loves art, I implore
How many times have you watched that movie?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
I've watched it 10 times.
All right.
Okay.
I
What
implore
are you imploring
I
me to
implore
do?
you to watch it again, right? With an open mind. And
I watched
listen,
it 10 times
I'm not done.
with an
I'm not
open
done.
mind, with a
Think
with
about
out of the box mind.
Think about this for a second. The Matrix 1 and 1 through 3 was about a simulation.
Right.
The Matrix 4 is about a video game. Think about these two things, right? Both are simulations. One is being controlled like on a modern day, a way that we can all relate to in modern day, right? Basically, at the time that 1 through 3 were made, video games were not as big as they are, right? So they're using a medium that is readily understandable to people.
Right.
Who's that?
I think this comes to.
Oh, Cam, come in. Sorry, man, I'm fucking recording, so just don't rap to me for a second, right? Sorry, what was I saying? Sorry, XA. No, I'm fucking recording. Yeah, just give me a second. It'll be fine. What was I saying? Yeah. So now, right, this is a readily understandable medium.
Yeah.
And within that medium, they are critiquing something.
Right.
So for you to truly understand, do you see what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Is it too far-fetched? I don't know. It might sound like I'm nuts.
It's not something that I can grasp and comprehend.
That's what I'm saying. For you to
on our recording right now. But if I think about it, you know, maybe if I go slip on it, I'll be like, okay, take you right.
You know what happened? Let me tell you something that happened.
Because you're going too deep.
The greatest rapper of all time released an album in 2019.
Eminem?
Yeah, I'm talking about Revival. And I was sitting at my boy's house, right? And this was, the world hates this album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The world absolutely hates this album.
Yeah.
They consider it to be one of the worst Eminem albums of all time.
Right.
And I listened to it and I heard the fluff. It's an album full of fluff. The singles with Beyonce, whoa.
Yeah.
But behind all that shit, his first singles and wada, this guy was trying to say something, right? And I heard what he was trying to say. And for me, it made it one of the most phenomenal albums of all time. Because he made an album that's a loop that changes each time you come around the loop. Now, this is not something you can just explain to somebody. No, the owner's made a loop in an album, what. You sound nuts, all right? So I called my boy over. And I said, yo, I'm gonna play you this album, right? I'm gonna play you this fucking album. And I've heard, I'll never forget that day. It was him, by the way.
That night,
right?
bro.
Right.
And I was telling him, I've heard something that sounds nuts to me.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it to other people, but you know me.
Yeah.
And how I listen to music, and you know what I mean? So I'd like you to listen and tell me what you hear. And by the end of the night, we were shedding tears.
Bro.
Like, yo.
Every time it sounds different.
Right.
When you go from the front to from the start to the end, and it starts again, you lose track of where the end. Man, again, it can't be explained. You have to hear it.
Yeah.
You have to hear the whole thing.
And I say that to say this. That's how I feel about The Matrix. It's something like, these ones have made, like, they have involved you in the movie.
Listen, I'm
You know what I mean?
going to say
They've made
this.
you a character.
I'm going to
in
say
the
this,
movie.
Jake. I'm going to say this,
Yeah,
Jake.
You know?
The thing is, and this is why I keep saying that I don't know what's happening with our episodes, but there's something that's connecting them. And we don't even plan this, by the way, but they're being connected in a way. We were talking about how sometimes your art can evolve in such a way that even when you're gone, that's when it becomes relevant.
Yeah.
You understand? I shed a tear when I was listening to You and I by Riky Rick with Lindo the vocalist. I love that song 2
But
years
it has
ago.
taken on a new meaning.
But if you watch the video and the meaning of the song and his death, it now means something different, because in the song he's talking about him getting lost in the glamour and shit and chasing accolades and stuff like that, right? And he's calling his girl and telling her, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna come through. I'm done with this shit. Now I'm gonna come home. Da 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 da. And then when now you listen to it, it sounds as if this guy didn't manage to get home. And then it just sounds sad as hell. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll watch the Matrix 4 and then I'll find out that, you know.
I implore you. And not just,
Yeah.
I don't mean like today, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna do it today.
I say that to say this. I watched the first Matrix movie and then 15 years passed. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, there's just sometimes we think we are as smart as we need to be to understand something. I'm not saying that I'm smart or whatever.
I only understood the philosophy of that movie like 10 years later or something like that. I understood that it was trying to say something about how like we get lost in systems and structures
AI
and
and
whatnot,
structure, yeah.
and blah 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 blah. And then someone can be telling you, you can survive out of this. And you're just like, nah. You know, like for Neo, for example. Neo represents, like, let's say you approach someone who's talented and you're like, listen, you need to quit your job and try this out. And you're like, nah, but you know, I can't survive and whatnot. Remember, what's that movie?
You know why he was,
Wanted?
You know
Remember
why
Wanted?
You know why his name was Thomas Anderson?
Nah.
Because like they were paralleling the Bible's doubting Thomas.
Oh.
And he only changes his name when he becomes Neo.
Neo, the one.
This is what I'm saying.
it's
There's
a
so
thing, yeah.
many
But
small things in this movie that if you don't look, you won't see.
There's so many biblical parallels, but probably even more than Thomas is the relation that Neo has to Peter in the Bible and walking on water, right? And believing that he is who he thinks he is.
You can fly and whatnot and stuff.
You can be great.
Yeah, you can be great.
You are
already.
You are already.
hypnotized.
No,
just
no,
need
no,
to
no.
believe it.
spell.
No.
Wake
You
up.
can be great. You just need to decide.
To decide to be
It was
great.
never about belief. It was about decision. That's why the Matrix is a choice.
Back to Emerson, deciding and destiny.
Exactly. You can only be that which you decide to be. So you can't be great if you don't decide to be great.
Yeah.
Damn. And since we're talking about Riky Rick, do you think he ever decided to be great? I think he did.
I think he decided to be great when he was young, man.
Yeah.
And this is why we're seeing all this. This is why we're doing a whole pod because of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His actions still affect us in life and in death.
You know, on this
You
Riky
know?
Rick situation, I was thinking yesterday, right? Like, what would make, and I've contemplated suicide before, and like when I was a teen, and and never had the guts to do it. I was always close to doing it, but never had the guts to do it. And then shamed myself for not having the guts, right? Because it's a gut, right, to do it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking yesterday, why, right now at this where I am in my life, at what point would I kill myself? And I feel like, at what point, what would make you want to check out of the game, right? And to me, it was boredom.
Yeah.
I was like, if this ever just gets boring,
Uninteresting.
then
you got
what's
the-
the point?
And to bring it back to you saying, because I did say this to someone, and I was reacting to someone calling Riky Rick a coward, and I was like, I think that, because I've also contemplated suicide before, and I was saying that I think I'm the coward, the one who never went through
that's
with it.
exactly, yeah.
Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh my God, I pussied out, right?
Yeah.
So what if I'm the one who's the coward for not going through with it?
But I
Because
mean,
think about it.
to play
hanging
devil's-
yourself, like
those-
that's
play devil's-
like 10 minutes of like, you know what I mean?
To play devil's advocate, right? Especially as an artist and a creative.
Don't play devil's advocate.
That's all I know how to do. Especially as a creative, as an artist, right? There should always be a constant reminder. For me, at least, is what I use, right? A constant reminder of every day you stay alive, something beautiful happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes optimism is seeing the glasses half full, right? Pessimism is thinking nothing special is going to happen today. You know what I mean? Optimism is thinking, all right, nothing special happened today. It doesn't mean nothing special is going to happen tomorrow because I don't control all these variables.
I think every day you stay alive, you get closer to rentals, to utilities. You get closer to you not getting paid on the 30th. There's an upside. Is all I'm saying.
I think every day you stay alive, you get closer to owning your own business, paying yourself.
Okay. All right.
Never. It's optimism.
It depends
You know
on what
I mean?
direction you're walking, I guess.
Yeah.
You
What
know.
direction you're heading.
Perception, not
You know.
direction, but just like
Same thing, bro.
what are you thinking, positive or negative?
Yeah. But
It could all go wrong.
But,
It
but,
could all
but
go right.
here's the thing, and this is the crazy thing about life. Perception literally changes your reality because your reality is your perception.
Right.
It actually is. You know, the issue of color blindness reveals this to us. Just because I can't see green doesn't mean there's no green. Just because you can see green doesn't mean that this thing is green.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, your reality is not my reality. So just
Exactly.
because
So-
I can see green doesn't mean that I should convince you that there is green.
So if that's the case,
you can't see it.
If that's the case, then what we call perception is actually reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Your perception is
Individual.
your reality.
Individual.
Yes.
Not generally.
Yeah.
And here's a great tie-in into the Matrix, right? It's your reality is what you want it to be. You know what I mean? There's that option.
Yeah.
People always feel like their reality is suffocating.
So I
them.
can choose my reality.
You can choose your reality.
Even according to
And to go back to that
Yeah.
analogy about like, is the glass half full or half empty? Fuck the glass. Be the water.
You stole that from what was that guy? From Bruce Lee.
It sounds like you knew him. Like you saw Bruce. It sounds like you saw him with this quote, and you're like, I know that quote.
He stole that from Bruce Lee. Be like water.
Yeah, be like water, man. Look, bro, life's beautiful, right? Out of the nothingness that this could be, it's something. And this something, if you look close enough, it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? When you're not so distracted by the other somethings that are here, it's kind of fucking cool, you know? And I just hold on to tomorrow. Like, I didn't think, when I woke up today, I didn't think we'd do this episode. It was not even in my scope. I thought about this at 10 a.m. That's when I called you, you know? But that was me saying, like, the day's boring. Let me make something of it.
An impromptu thing. You know
And
what I mean?
here it is,
Yeah.
you know? And you can be great,
There you go.
or you can degrade. You just freestyle. I'm a rapper, bro. I don't know if you know. You can degrade. I mean, you can get paid. I don't know if you've heard of me. I don't know. I rap, bro. Like,
what is a rap?
I know you guys can't
Apparently
hear,
he's a rapper.
but that's like Camster in the background, bro. Like, I'm a rapper.
He's a rapper.
I stays around rappers. You know what I'm saying? Don't be forgetting.
Later on, you have supper.
No, you see.
Stop.
You
No?
see.
All right,
Okay,
now
so
we
that didn't work. That
That's
didn't
it,
work out.
we're done now.
No.
Okay,
This is
okay.
why you did the artwork.
Yeah.
After the 1 hour mark, this guy just like sort of
you like, look,
like it's downhill
What is
from
this?
there.
Are you like a 1 hour man? What the fuck is going on?
At least I'm not a 1 minute man, nigga.
I mean, in the podcast world, it's still bad. What if we need to do a 3 hour podcast and after 1 hour, you just sound like those niggas from that podcast?